Good morning, everybody. This is Andy Revkin at the Earth Institute, although I'm in the Hudson Valley branch of the Columbia University's Earth Institute. And this morning we have a very special show lined up for you, starting with music of different cultures, both Native American and here. Wonderful. You'll have a conversation and performances by two new friends, Mitali Bhawmik and Nidhi. Hold on a second. Nidhi Thakur, who's at Kean University. They're both in New Jersey, but they're both masterful. I'd say they're both philosophers in a way. And Mitali is a fantastic performer of traditional Hindustani and Bengali music. And Nidhi is going to recite some poetry. I'm showing you some video from a 2017 TV performance by Mitali. So I hope you'll pass this around to friends. And we all need a little bit of music in our lives. The Sunday sanity shows are to take us back from the weekday flow of conversations here, which are more focused on the world's problems and how to solve them. Music is one pathway to addressing the community we need to build to solve big problems. So I want to say good morning to my two guests, my two new. Nidhi has been here already a couple of times. Unmute you. And Mitali, it's great to meet you. So how are you? How are you this morning, Mitali? Oh, you're muted. Let me make sure I'm not muting you. You have to. Yeah. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah. I did that.
Okay.
Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. And nice to be here. It's such a nice, bright, sunny day today. So I'm enjoying my morning with all of you.
And you and Nidhi have not met before, right? Is that correct? Or do you know
we haven't met, yes.
We have never met, but I'm so delighted to be here with Mitali Di, and thank you, Andy, for having us. So I'm really happy that, I'm here with everybody.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, I always, one of the best things about this show is when I have guests who haven't met before, even though they have intersecting interests. So it's great to I feel job done already. So you had been conversing a little bit about how to address the morning. I think it was going to involve a little reading and some singing. So maybe Nidhi, did you have were you going to speak and read first?
So what we'll do is you'll see that we try to create a sequence between the two of us. We spoke on the phone. And so let me get started here with commenting on the recent spate of events that we saw unfold at the Capitol, particularly because this is, as you call, the India edition. So, for Indians who hail from a democracy and have migrated to another democracy, when they see the fragility of a democracy, it trembles them. And so people like myself, we begin to wonder, what is it that we do? What is it that we can do? How are democracies preserved? So I'll get started with something that I wrote recently. Again, I'm going to transliterate it from Hindi to English as I read it along. It's called Prajatantra Pe Prahar, Attack on Democracy. वो जब भी त्रिशूल और भाले उठा गुंबदों पे चढ़े या दमदार बंदूकें खुद पे ताने सभाघरों और होटलों में बेखौफ बढ़े या जब भी वो दहशत के धुएं में सरकारी किवाड़ों और खिड़कियों को तोड़ने निकले, हम जैसे निहत्थे, नास्तिक, धार्मिक, मेहनतकश प्रजातंत्र की टूटती कड़ियों को जोड़ने निकले. Whenever they have climbed atop domes, wielding tridents and arrows, or whenever they have fearlessly entered seats of justice or hostels for the masses with powerful guns strapped to their bodies, or whenever they have shattered the doors and windows of government buildings in a haze of confusion and terror, we, the unarmed, the irreligious, the religious, the hardworking people have come out to heal and seal the broken links of our democracy. हमने लिख के, बोल के, नाच के, अपने फटे हाल बटुओं को खोल के एक एक सपना बचाया है। हमने महामारी में घंटों कतारों में खड़े होकर वोट डाले हैं, अजनबियों से बातें कर उन्हें अपने पहलू समझाया है। We have, by writing, speaking, dancing, and by opening our already stretched wallets, saved the dream of democracy. We have stood in lines for hours in the middle of a contagion and cast votes and saved the dream of democracy. हमें उनकी ऊंची आवाज से कोई बैर नहीं, बस उनकी दादागिरी खलती है। हम जानते हैं कि प्रजातंत्र मंत्र से नहीं, षड्यंत्र से नहीं, समझौतों से चलती है। We have no anger against their loud voices. It is their tyranny we cannot bear. We know that democracies run not on mantras, nor on conspiracies, but on reconciliations. कि हम जानते हैं, हम मानते हैं कि प्रजातंत्र की बुनियाद वाद विवाद, ना कि गुंडागर्दी या भेदभाव। For we the people, we know, we believe that the foundation of democracy is debate and dialogue, not dictatorship, nor discrimination. The end. So I think what is important in this poem is that, especially as an immigrant, you obviously feel very uncomfortable with the situation that, not that we fled a democracy, but we left it for a reason, and here we are, and we kind of face the same fragility, and that really kind of echoes with us. And then number two is that as a parent, you begin to question what is the role that you have to play and model for your children going forward. So then you realize that as an ordinary citizen, what you do is you debate, you dialogue, you create art. And that was what this poem was about. Over to Mitali Di.
And with this, I was thinking a very nice prayer which was composed by Pandit Ravi Shankar, and a peace prayer, you can say. So I'm going to sing it for you. And before I sing, I'll just translate the meaning so that everybody can enjoy. The meaning of this prayer is, "O Lord, please bless us. Help us get rid of darkness from our lives and take away jealousy, hatred, greed, and anger from us." So this is the meaning of this prayer. So let me sing it for you. It's such a nice tune. Can you hear the tanpura? This instrument? Low? Is it okay? हे नाथ हम पर कृपा कीजिए, हे नाथ हम पर कृपा कीजिए, दूर करो अंधकार, ज्ञान का आलोक दीजिए, हिंसा देश लोभ क्रोध हमसे छीन लीजिए, मन में प्रेम शांति भर दीजिए, हे नाथ हम पर कृपा कीजिए, हे नाथ हम पर कृपा कीजिए. So let there be peace on earth. So that's it. Over to Nidhi.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Oops.
And
There. I was muting there.
yeah, and this was a beautiful poem, prayer, Mitali Di. I think the world could definitely use more of this, the warmth of our prayers, certainly. Um, on that note, so what we talked about was that, um, uh, to give an ode to the Hindustani classical music that Mitali Di sings so beautifully. There are a lot of references to the natural, to the nature, in particular to seasons. With the season, also, interestingly enough, there are very, very tangible festivals that come in India. And one such festival that comes in the onset of spring is Holi, which is the festival of colors. Um, and so we wanted to get started with something like that. And so here I have a little poem on Holi. It's called होली हो तो बरसाने की, हम खुशी से पीटें, वो खुशी से पिटें, फिर उनके घावों पे मरहम लगाने की, होली हो तो बरसाने की. So the allusion here is to a typical Holi in a place called Barsane in Mathura Vrindavan area, where Lord Krishna is supposed to be coming with his young gang of friends. He comes to Radha's town, and they tease the maids, the beautiful Radha and her friends. They tease them, they are naughty with them. And in the process, Radha and her friends then retaliate. They beat Krishna and his friends with sticks. And obviously, one can see that there is love in the air. It is not about hitting or beating or actual retaliation. It is all a playful interaction. And that is called Barsane ki Holi, the Holi from Barsane. So in this poem, I say, Holi ho to Barsane ki, as in, Holi should be like that in Barsane, where women folk beat the men with hands, sticks, brooms, slippers, and whatnot. Holi should be like that in Barsane. We beat them happily, they get beaten happily, and then we apply ointment to their wounds. So it is not about the fact that we are beating them or abusing them. It is about coming back to put the ointment and the beauty around that act that makes the Holi so beautiful. And then I go on to say, Holi ho to boli ki. वो अपने गिले हम पे उड़ेलें, हम अपने शिकवों से उन्हें भिगाएं. अफसोस में आंखें दोनों की नम हो, अफसोस में दोनों धुल जाएं. सब तो भद्रंग से होते हैं, हो हम पे चमक इस होली की, होली हो तो बोली की. And then I say, typically we associate Holi with colors. I say no, Holi should be of words, where I empty a pail of my complaints against my friend, and she in turn drenches me with her woes against me. And then, in tears of regrets, we both come together and clean up, such that while everyone looks discolored and shabby with all the colors, we both look sparkling and bright. It's about a Holi of reconciliation and love. The end. Mitali Di?
Just appropriate composition, what you have just recited on spring. Like when I sing both the genres of pure classical music and semi-classical music. And when I perform pure classical music, I have to stick to the rules of the raga, which is a combination of notes, which has an ascending order, descending order. And the ragas, it has its own time frame. Every raga has its, in Hindustani system, it has a time to sing that particular rag. Also, the ragas can be seasonal. So as you described Holi, So I'm thinking of a raga, springtime raga. It's the name of the raga is Vasant. So I'm not going to go into too details. It'll be because you don't have that much time. I'll just sing a composition and the meaning of the composition, followed by typical semi-classical genre Holi, which also you have, whatever you have described, it is all in there. So the pure classical composition, it is in Rag Vasant, and it says, Phagwa Braja Dekhana Ko Chalori. So Phagwa is another name of Hori, the festival of colors. We celebrate in March time, springtime. So let's go to Braj, where Krishna lives, to watch this festival of Holi, celebration of Holi. And there I'll get to meet my Krishna. Okay, so it's such a nice meaning. So I'm going to just sing a couple of lines from this composition and in Rag Vasant. भगवा ब्रज देखन को चलो रे भगवा ब्रज देखन को चलो रे भगवा में मिलेंगे कुंवर कान्हा जहाँ बाट चलत बोले कगवा भगवा ब्रज देखन को चलो रे. So this is Rag Vasant, followed by a semi-classical piece. Hori Khelori Chhal Sang Rang Ghori. So let us play Holi with our friends with the colors. So let us spray colors on each other. So make naughty things as Nidhi was describing. So let me just just one paragraph of this. Hori Khelori Chhal Sang Rang Ghori. Hori Khelori hai Hori Khelori. Hori Khelori Chhal Sang Rang Ghori. Hori Khelori hai Hori Khelori. Rang biranga रंग लाई सब ही रंग बिरंगा रंग लाई सब ही सब अंग अंग कर सरबोरी सब अंग अंग कर सरबोरी होरी खेलोरी हाय होरी खेलोरी आज बनाई देव याही विदिसो आज बनाई देव याही विदिसो मिलियाली गाल गुलाल मलोरी मिलियाली गाल गुलाल मलोरी सखी को छोड़ी लेहु पीतांबर सखी को छोड़ी लेहु पीतांबर को लेहु मुरली चोरी होरी कही कही हारी हारी होरी कही कही सब लाल ही ललकारो री होरी खेलोरी हाय होरी खेलोरी. That's it. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
So beautiful. One felt like, we are in the
Dancing.
in March and dancing with
we,
the
we all dance during this festival. It's a very colorful festival celebration.
Mitali, you did many years of training too. The trills and those ululations, I think, are just so hard to think about singing. Takes a lot of work, right?
Yes, of course. I mean, like it's a lot of practice involved, and I mean, I practice every day. That's my discipline. Like in a day, I try to give 3 to 4 hours for practice.
Wow.
Because like in this music, there are so many things involved. Once you get hold of your voice, the voice training is there. Then you have to know the rag, how to present a rag in a nice detailed way. Then there is another subject which is semi-classical, which is a totally different genre. So it's a lot of it's like an ocean to me, ocean of knowledge to me. So I'm just trying my best as much as possible, and teaching my students who are getting involved, the next generation, which is a very good thing, because this music is so rich. So trying my best.
I'm showing some of the pictures from your website of you
Yes.
with
My
some of your
Guruji,
gurus.
my Guruji, Pandit Viji Jog, he was a great violin maestro. I am really fortunate to have him as my guru, teacher. He taught me for so many years.
Wow.
Mitali, he's no more?
No.
Oh, okay. He passed.
Yeah. And his Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahab, I performed there at his college in California. So, I mean, I performed there few times, but he was there at one concert and he tuned my tanpura. It was such a blessing for me, like to meet him is a blessing.
Wow. That's so wonderful. My guru was Pete Seeger, the folk musician who lived.
Wow.
He lived here in the Hudson Valley when I moved here in 1991, we became friends, and he, like so many people, he let into his lives. You'll meet some of them in a few minutes. He was a wonderful teacher, a wonderful presence. That's great to see that lineage, and you're certainly carrying it on. I will say. It's remarkable what you're doing now with your art, and Nidhi, with your words as well. I'd like to introduce Patrick Jones, who's a singer who I've known now for since he moved to the Hudson Valley. Performer, great guitar player, and he has Cherokee background from the peoples who inhabited these lands before before Western Europeans came here and dominated them and dominated the peoples who were here. In fact, here in the Hudson Valley, I live on Lenape grounds and honor their presence and absence. They're here still, but it's so. Patrick, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, and I'm uplifted by the music, Mitali and Nidhi. Thank you so much. I went back to school, so I know 3 words. I know alap, gat, and karnat from the raga. I learned that in school. It is wonderful to see you. I also had the honor of recording a pop singer named Asha Putli in my youth at my studio, and I really wanted to find out more about the culture. And now here I am. It feels like a full circle. So welcome to this country, and thank you for coming to America. It is the new tide and the new wave of people. I am so overjoyed to share this virtual room with you, and want to thank you for coming. I'm going to sing a little song for you. But I wanted to introduce one or two things because I loved what you said in terms of where the world is now, and it's the dawn of a new world. What we saw last week was kind of, I feel, the end of something. No one can stop this world from changing. America is going to be the ideal world of many different cultures and peoples. And it's going to be a democracy, and it's going to be the greatest nation on the earth, I believe. So I'd like to sing a Cherokee welcome song. But before I do, I want to say this is a truism of Cherokee culture. Well, there's two things. If the Cherokee men wanted to have a fight with another tribe, they were not allowed to do it unless they spoke with the beloved mother, because somewhere thousands of years ago they knew that they had to have the approval of a woman in the government in order to say that it was okay to go forth, and usually it would end up in lacrosse or something like that instead of a real fight. And you can check the bylaws, but if a Cherokee man and a woman get married and it doesn't work out, no matter what the circumstances, the man is allowed to leave with his shoes. And that's it. There's no he did this, he said that. It's okay. If it's over, you take your shoes and go. So with that being said, I'm going to sing a very short Cherokee welcoming song. It's also, you can hear it in some of the other tribes, the melody. It's a very simple melody, and it goes like this. We are hey 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 oh hey ya yo hey hi ya yo hey hi ya yo hey hi ya we hi ya hey yo we hey ya hey yo yo we hi ya we hi ya we hi ya yo. Yo hey hi ya yo hey hi ya yo hey hi ya yo hey hi ya we hi ya yo we hi ya yo yo hey hi ya we hi ya we hi ya yo. Yeah hey hey hi ya hey yo hey hi ya yo hey hi ya yo hey hi ya yo hey hi ya we hi ya hey yo we hi ya hey yo yo hey hi ya we hi ya oh yo.
Beautiful. Good morning. Nice
Good morning
greeting.
and welcome.
Thank you,
Excellent.
Patrick.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Mitali and Nidhi, if you have maybe one more thought or song before
Sure.
we switch to the next round, that would be great. And you can stick around, or better yet, you can stick around and help propel this on Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn the next couple of hours, next hour or so. That'd be great too. Great to have you both here. Wonderful.
Yeah.
I hope this is the beginning of a long friendship.
Yes.
Virtual.
Thank you for having us. Yes.
Thank you. It's really nice to be here with all of you. I'm enjoying.
Very nice. Yes, and the Cherokee song was so good. I've heard it on, I've never heard it live, and to see it
Right.
coming, it is really beautiful.
Thank you.
You
Very
evoke
good.
so many
Very good.
emotions. Very good. So next we can go is, we were talking about seasons. I think we can touch one more season, which is very symbolic of India, which is the monsoon. And the monsoon and the rain, which drenches India right after the heated summer. And so here I am, I have a poem, which is, I hail from the hills. And so when it rains in the hills, it's all lush green, fog, and so on. And it is also reflecting on an angst of a woman, how she sees the rains and she feels liberated, and so on. So here goes. खिली खुली धुली धुली पहाड़ों की बारिशों से मैं गर्मी की तपिश में थी जली पहाड़ों में अभी मिली अपनी ख्वाहिशों से मैं. I have blossomed, I have opened, I am washed by the rains on the mountains. I was burned in the scorching heat of the summer. I have only just met with my own desires. और भी हरी हुई हरी भरी पहाड़ियां भीग कर निखर गईं मेरी ये कहानियां, अब नहीं हारूंगी अपनी रंजिशों से मैं। The green mountains have become even more green. Soaked in the rains, my stories have bloomed. For now, I will not be defeated by my own grievances against the world and the world's grievances against me. उठ रहा कोहरा जो कोरा झूमती बारिश के बाद, उठ रहा कोहरा जो कोरा झूमती बारिश के बाद, कह रहा है तू भी उठ, तू भी है आजाद, अब क्यों कर डरूंगी सबकी बंदिशों से मैं। That pristine fog that rises from the mountains after the dancing rains tells me too to rise and dance. It tells me I'm free. Why would I now be afraid of the many restrictions they place on me? The end.
Wow. Excellent. Very good.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Monsoon. The monsoon is such an amazing force of nature. Still not clear how it's going to play out in climate change, but you know, 1 billion or 2 people rely so heavily on that pattern. Mitali, I'm sorry.
Yes. So there are several monsoon ragas. And the monsoon is the season of, you just explained it. So I'm going to play this another device. Hold on. It sounds nice. So another instrument is coming. So you can hear this, right? Just a composition and followed by 2-3 lines of a ghazal. I want to sing. So this is the composition is in Rag Miyaki Malhar. So, like as I sang composition in Rag Basant, which is a springtime raga. Malhar, there are different kinds of Malhar. So, just to give you an example, Miyaki Malhar, which is sung during the rainy season. Garaja Garaja Ghana Barase Badra. Kari Kari Atahi Darave. Andhi Ari Kari Kari Ma Jhoom Jhoom. Zoom Jhoom. It's same thing like the thunder claps resound through the dark cloud and heavy rain to the earth. So that is the overall meaning. So I'm just going to sing a short composition. गरज गरज घन बरसे बदरा गरज गरज घन बरसे बदरा कारी कारी अतहि डरावे आंधी आंधी आरी कारी कारी मारो झूम गरज गरज घन बरसे बदरा कारे कारे अतहि डरावे आंधी आरी कारी कारी मारो झूम गरज गरज घन बरसे बदरा बिजली चमके मेहा बरसे बिजली चमके मेहा बरसे पवन चलत मारू झूम गरज गरज घन बरसे बदरा. So this is the pure classical composition, which is our term we call bandish, followed by a ghazal. Ghazal, Nidhi, can you just explain what ghazal is about? So that followed by I will sing.
Yeah. So ghazal is typically it's a form of writing where there is a set meter and there's a set pattern. So technically there is a technical nuance to the ghazal. But in our popular culture, the ghazal has become associated a lot with a very very rich romance. There is romance in the air, and the romance can be in Sufi culture in particular. There is romance with the god. There is romance with the beloved, and the beloved could be anyone. So, ghazal, therefore, takes on a very rich, velvety nuance to it, and it has a flavor which is full of romance. And on that note, I wrote a little, very small. It's a long poem, but I'm just going to read out the very smallest part of it, which is that how, especially in our Asian culture, romantic love for the beloved is typically taboo, forbidden, and there is coyness, there's shyness. You do not take the name of your beloved in a public, and so on and so forth. So this is an ode to a feeling like that. It's called Tera Naam Ek Mantar. तेरा नाम लिख कर उस पे उंगलियां जो फेर ली पल भर मानो हो गई तुझसे रूबरू चुपचाप तेरा नाम कई बार पुकारा है खामोशी में सुनी है तेरी मेरी गुफ्तगू I write your name and run my fingers on the writing, and I feel that I have come face to face with you. Quietly, I have called your name many times. In silence, I have heard our conversations. तेरे नाम के कुछ औरों से भी वाकिफ हूं मैं करती नजरअंदाज उनकी कई गलतियां उनके गुनाह 100 होंगे पर तेरे एक नाम से वो हो जाते हैं रिहा I know a few others with the same name as yours. I overlook many of their mistakes, for they have committed many a crimes, but because of their name, I declare them not guilty. महफिल में जब कोई तेरा नाम लेता है तो मैं कहीं और देखने लगती हूँ तू याद में तो साथ है हमेशा ये कह के खुद को ठगती हूँ In a social gathering, if someone even mentions your name, I look in some other direction. You're always with me in my memories. I fool myself with that thought. तेरा नाम सिर्फ नाम मंत्र की तरह रट डाला है तेरा नाम ही दुआ तेरा नाम ही जप माला है Your name, only your name, I have memorized like a mantra. Only your name is my prayer. Only your name is my rosary. कोई बहुत अलग सा नहीं तेरा नाम बस तू ही अलग सा है ऐ वही सा दिखता है ऐ वही कुछ करता है बस तू शायद रब सा है अब तेरा नाम भी अलग सा है It is not that your name is very different from any other name. It is just you who is different. You look ordinary, you do something ordinary, and yet you are the God to me. Perhaps your name is very different too. The end. So it's about the velvety nuance of romance and so on. And the ghazal carries that really well. Is that right, Mitali Di? And so
Yes, yes. So आए कुछ अब्र, आए कुछ अब्र, कुछ शराब आए. Can you just उसके बाद आए जो अजाब आए. So how do you translate that?
Oh, that's a very tough Urdu. I will confess to
No,
knowing.
I कुछ abr is like cloud, and uske so let's just let me hum little 2-3 lines of it because you might not have that much time. Do we have time, Andy?
Well, we have another round of folks who will come on next.
Right.
If you can, I don't
I
know
can do it later on.
if you're busy, you could come back on for another discussion. That'd be great. Just a little
no,
later.
no problem.
Is that okay?
Okay, Mitali, do a ghazal. Do one ghazal.
Yeah, I
right?
think that'd be great.
Because you've set the tone for.
Sure. तो एरी सखी करूं और आए कुछ अब्र करूं.
Eri Saki. Do Eri Saki.
Okay. This is a semi-classical piece, and this has been composed by a great Sufi saint, Amir Khusro, and it is very popular, and it has 3 layers of meaning. So, I mean, I don't want to take any more time. Just listen to the song. And it is in Rag Desh. That's the name of the rag. It needs time to warm up my voice in the morning, you know.
Sure.
I didn't warm up, just join the session. Eri, eri sakhi more piya ghar aaye. Eri sakhi more पिया घर आए भाग लगे मोरे आंगन को भाग लगे उस आंगन को अपने पिया को मैं बल बल जाऊं अपने पिया को मैं बल बल जाऊं चरण लगाऊं निर्दान को एरी सखी मोरे पिया घर आए मैं तो खड़ी थी आस लगा के मैं तो खड़ी थी आस लगा के मेहंदी कजरा मांग सजा के देख सूरतिया अपने पिया की देख सूरतिया अपने पिया की हार गई मैं तन मन को हार गई मैं तन मन को मेरी सखी मोरे पिया घर आए मेरी सखी मोरे पिया घर आए. Thank you so much.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Truly a wonderful way to begin the morning, and I hope you can come back.
Sure.
And I don't just mean later this morning, but in
No.
a future session. This is beautiful, and I'll help to spread it around. These sessions get recorded and can be transmitted. So I'd like to bring in a few more of the people who are here today.
Here. Should I stay here or what should I do now?
If you can watch on YouTube or Facebook,
Yes,
and maybe
definitely.
come back, a little later toward the middle of the day, that'd be great. This is just wonderful. It's just fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Mitali. It was wonderful.
Thank you. It's wonderful listening to you.
And I'm going to add in a few people to say hello before you leave.
Sure.
Here's
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
Hey, beautiful. Thank
Wonderful.
Nice.
Lovely.
Thank
That
you.
was extraordinary. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'll be listening to all of you.
Great. We'll see you in a
Thank
bit. See you always. Great.
Sure.
Hold on. Wow. What a big, I'm just finding myself sighing and just breathing to that stuff. Steve Stan, how are you doing there in the Catskills?
Doing really well, Andy. It's lovely music. Reminded me of Irish Sean Nose singing. Just that even though you don't understand the words, the feeling comes through in a big way.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And just so everyone knows, Peter Siegel and Karen Brooks and Nadine and Barbara Dysart are in the green room, and they'll be coming on. And Dar Williams is scheduled to be on here. That might have been her knocking on the door of the green room a few minutes ago. So this is just a wonderful morning. Patrick, that was such a great Cherokee chant. Also, thank you for that.
You. Yeah, and it was great, but for them, I just loved the notes and singing the coloratura, I guess they would call it in opera, but just masterful. I loved it so much, Andy. Thank you so much. And hello to you, Steve. And,
Hey, Patrick.
And David Ross.
and Mr. Ross. And I'm going to sign off right now, so you guys have a full
right.
room for people to come in, and blessings to you all. Thank you.
All right, and to you. See you in a bit.
Okay.
Well, again, I'm still just breathing from that. That was really great. Really great. So, Julio, you're on really early from the West Coast, and you don't have to sing and get your vocal cords all loosened up. But you had your piano set up a little bit. Maybe you could pop over there so you're ready to.
Sure, happy to. And let me take out my headset here. I know you guys can still hear
Great to
me
have you
just
back
fine
on.
because I'm not using that as the mic. Give me a moment while I
Yeah.
port it over there.
And while you do that, David Ross, how are you doing? And
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Here we are on Martin Luther King Day weekend on Inauguration Day week.
Yeah,
We'll be talking about that in a few minutes with Dar Williams.
we're all planning to do something tomorrow in place of the walk here in Beacon, the walk that Pete started. One of the last things he ever did. So we're all, and I know Dar's planning something for everybody to get into that same spirit. So I'm looking forward to hearing her talk later.
Yeah, Inauguration Day morning, steps2021.org.
Yeah.
So what do you have in your musical mind and heart this morning?
Well, I thought I would go from the sublime to the ridiculous. Since we've just had some sublime, I would do something ridiculous. And it's a John Prine song. I'm in John Prine mood these days. And it's the John Prine song that has his longest title. Do you know what that song would be, Andy?
No.
It's a song that Patrick introduced me to. And it cracks me up every time I sing it. I just thought we could use a little humor this week, and it's called Egg and Daughter Night, Lincoln, Nebraska, 1967, Crazy Bone.
Amazing.
Well, if you like your apples sweet and your streets are not concrete, you'd be in your bed by 9 every night. Take your hand-spanked corn-fed gal and your best friend's four-eyed pal to a treat right down the street that's dynamite. Well, let your conscience be your guide. If you put your foot inside, you'll wish you left your well enough alone. When you got hell to pay, put the truth on layaway and blame it on that old crazy bone. Crazy bone, crazy bone, crazy bone, crazy bone. Well, you wish you left your well enough alone. When you got hell to pay, put the truth on layaway and blame it on that old crazy bone. Well, don't stuck up in Alaska when you should be up in Nebraska on a Thursday when it's egg and daughter night. When the farmers come to town and they spread them eggs around and they drop their daughters on at the roller rink. Well, you're probably standing there with your slick back brill cream hair and your Luckies and your daddy's fine tooth comb. Well, if they knew what you were thinking, they'd run you out of Lincoln. Just blame it on that old crazy bone. Crazy bone, crazy bone, crazy bone, crazy bone. Well, you must have left your wisdom tooth at home. Well, if they knew what you were thinking, they'd run you out of Lincoln. Just blame it on that old crazy bone. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. When the grandkids all are grown and they've put you in a home, and eternity is approaching fast. Yeah, you're half out of your head, and you probably pissed the bed, and you can't see a thing to save your ass. When far across the prairie, in the local cemetery, they've already got your name carved out in stone. When all them nurses say, Grandpa, why'd you walk that way? Just blame it on that old crazy bone. Yeah, blame it on that old crazy bone. Crazy bone. And everybody in that old folks' home, if they knew what you were thinking, well, they'd run you out of Lincoln. Just blame it on that old crazy bone. And everybody in that old folks' home, yeah, blame it on that old crazy bone.
That was a great choice. We do need to get crazy.
Crazy bone.
Very nice. Thank you, David.
Another one we lost this year.
I know. Although again, it's last year. I keep forgetting this is like the 2020 adjacent.
Yeah, that's true. This has been already a full year in 2 weeks. So
I know. Unbelievable.
I'm ready for 22 already.
I'm using the lunar calendar here. I'm going with Year of the Ox.
The loony calendar.
Yeah, that's a good.
I'm actually assuming that the new year won't really start till January 20th.
Yeah, I think you're there.
Yeah,
you are there. The new era, the new decade. Let's see how this all plays out, boy. Julio, so you had some Brahms in mind, I think.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
We're going from. I just love this idea of going from Indian ragas about the monsoon to Cherokee chants to John Prine singing a song about Lincoln, Nebraska to Brahms.
Yes, exactly. So I'm a huge John Prine fan, by the way. Thank you, David. That was terrific. But we're going from the ridiculous to the sublime in a completely different kind of classical tradition, rather different than Mitali's. So last time I was on, I played a different one of these Brahms intermezzo. These are these very personal, intimate pieces he wrote at the end of his life. This one is one that I just think it's incredibly beautiful. I'm sure I won't do it justice, but it is I think full of hope and restoration. It's the kind of thing you listen to at the end of a trial, and so I hope I don't misrepresent its beauty. Give me just a moment here.
Sure. Sublime. That's the right word.
Mhm.
I was just reading. I was watching a two-year-old Atlantic magazine video essay on a 97-year-old philosopher who had written a book about death, had written all these things about purpose of life, and late in life he was going, you know what? I don't think there's a purpose, and I'm like, no, yes, I think there is a purpose. Come on, guy. He's passed away now, so but he's resonating still, so that proves something. There's continuity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
well,
anyway,
Stephen Hawking was fully rejectionist. He said, "There's nothing after death. Get over it. There is no purpose. We're just purely random chemical and physical reactions." But he was a total buzzkill at a party. So,
not only that, his thoughts resonate too forward. So there's continuity in the ideas and the spirit of a person. It's like saying that Pete Seeger died, so he doesn't exist anymore. It's just a sort of a silly concept. So I'm glad you all exist. And so for the time we exist, whether it's virtual or physical, let's make sure we keep convening and creating. We have another crew coming on. But Steve Stan, I'd love to hear from you musically. I just love your playing and your singing. Always have. I cherish the times you and I got to play with Pete Seeger on that lump there at the
Yes.
at the Beacon waterfront. So what do you have in mind today?
Well, actually, I thought I'd read a short poem.
That's
and
fine
then
too.
do a song that Pete did quite a bit, that pulls from different cultures, as Pete would do, at least different languages. The poem is a poem by an Irish poet, Michael Cody, one of my favorite of the many poets we see over in a festival that Betty and the Baby Boomers attend in many years. And the poem is called "There Are Also Musicians." And it sort of combines some of the things we've been hearing this morning. There are also musicians. Though there are torturers in the world, there are also musicians. Though at this moment men are screaming in prisons, there are jazzmen raising storms of sensuous celebration and orchestras releasing glories of the spirit. Though the image of God is everywhere defiled, a man in West Clare is playing the concertina. The Sistine Choir is levitating under the dome of St. Peter's, and a drunk man on the road is singing for no reason. Michael Cody. Song I wanted to do, given the theme this morning, is the one that was actually written by Laurie Wyatt. And it again speaks to it speaks to the metaphors of a boat, but it speaks to the connections that water and music, in this case, bring to many of us in the world. Somos el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea. I sail in you, you sail in me. The stream sings it to the river sings it to the sea sings it to the boat that carries you and me. Somos el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea. I sail in you, you sail in me. The boat we are sailing on was built by many hands. The sea we are sailing on, it touches every land. Somos el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea. I sail in you sail in me. So with our hopes we set the sails and face the winds once more. And with our hearts we chart the waters never sailed before. Somos el barco, somos el mar. Yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea. I sail in you sail in me. I sail in you sail in me.
Beautiful, Steve.
Oh, thank you.
Really beautiful.
And I posted a comment there, supportclearwater.org. Steve Stan is acting director. So the spirit of Pete Seeger lives on in many people and many actions. And you certainly are helping to carry on that legacy, as you have done for decades. Good to see you here again.
Well, thanks. Yeah, it's a great legacy.
I want to bring in our other guests here through this final stretch. We're going to go probably till 12:30. So anyone who can hang in there, you're welcome to. And here's Peter Siegel in Vermont.
Hey, Peter.
Karen Brooks in rural Massachusetts, Heath, Mass. Sheep raiser, folk singer extraordinaire, and trouble sister extraordinaire. And here's Dar Williams, not too far away from me. How are you, Dar?
I'm good, thanks.
And we'll talk in a few minutes about your project, and which I think is everybody's project. And also Nadine and Barbara in where are you guys actually? Are you near Karen, or are you just near Karen spiritually?
Very rural. We're very rural. We're about 60 miles south of Buffalo in the Alleghenies.
I've been out that way once or twice when I was a New York Times reporter covering stuff in the western part of the state. It's great to have you here. And
but they know Peter Siegel. They know Peter, and they've all played a lot of dances together.
Yes, we all know each other. Nadine and Barbara, it's so great to see you.
Now, very briefly, I have to note, there's a comment coming in from our good friend Donna Nestler saying, "Happy birthday, Peter Siegel."
No.
Is it your birthday?
It was a week ago, but it was
okay.
So, I entered the second half of the century, so.
Yeah. I'm getting some clicking noise from somebody. I'm not sure who that is. So try to mute when you're not singing or chatting. This is great. So we're at this juncture to the next half hour, and Peter Siegel, I thought it'd be fun to hear from you next, especially as the birthday boy, at least within a week. Maybe you have a song you had in mind this morning. It doesn't have to be a birthday song. We can sing that for you.
Right, you got to sing that to me, right?
Yeah, right. What's on your musical mind today?
Well, I was thinking, I don't know if it's been done. I was thinking, someone probably would have done this already, but because of this crowd. But there's a song that was written by a friend of some of ours, John Fisher, who is sings with my sister in Hudson Valley Sally, and also in the Walkabout chorus, worked a lot with Pete. And it's a song about Martin Luther King.
Yes.
So, yeah. And I do this song with my kids at school. I teach K-5 music. So this is actually the last 2 weeks I've been saying to them, or at least the last week, I've been singing this song to every class and saying this is a song that is about one of the biggest peaceful gatherings of people in our history, and no one got hurt, and it was an inspirational day led by so many people, including Dr. Martin Luther King. So this is a song. I got a dream and I can't get rid of it. I believe in every bit of it. Been stuck inside of me ever since 1963. It's about the content of one's character. Ain't nothing else gonna matter if around the welcome table everybody's got a seat. From the lookout tower in Tennessee to the streets of New York City, an endless line of marchers until everybody is free. I got a dream and I can't get rid of it. I believe in every bit of it. Been stuck inside of me ever since 1963. In every valley, raised and exalted. In every mountain barrier vaulted. The sunlit path to freedom. A beautiful symphony. In every hamlet, town, and city. No rest and no tranquility. Till free at last, sweet land of liberty. I got a dream and I can't get rid of it. I believe in every bit of it. Been stuck inside of me ever since 1963. On the Washington Mall that August, as the marchers gather before us, we raise our voice, lift our voice, and justice is the song. It was the greatest demonstration in the history of the nation. The struggle is long and the struggle is hard. Now it's ours to carry on. I got a dream and I can't get rid of it. I believe in every bit of it. Been stuck inside of me ever since 1963. I got a dream and I can't get rid of it. I believe in every bit of it. Been stuck inside of me ever since 1963.
Great.
I love
What a great
it.
tune. I don't know that song. That's
Oh, well, now you do. Everyone should sing it.
who wrote? I missed who wrote it.
John Fisher. Who has he been on your little show here before? No,
He obviously should be.
You got to invite him because he is a writer of some of the greatest songs, and they don't get heard all that much. So Lori knows all about him, though. My sister.
All right, make
He's
sure
he's a member of Hudson Valley Sally with Lori
Yes.
and
Oh.
Dave Tarlow.
Yep.
Okay, so round him up. Got to
All
get
right.
him on here.
We
That was
will.
great. What a cool tune. Barbara and Nadine are probably having connectivity issues, which can be a problem in rural America, and of course through poverty in many other parts of the country. We are not yet. There's still a big digital divide, and it sucks basically because so much of what we need to do to prosper and thrive and find jobs and do all kinds of things happens online. Karen Brooks, sheep farmer, trouble sister. How you doing?
I am good. I actually, I didn't even plan to do a song today because I was trying so hard to get those guys on. But I will give you a little update. We got 12 new inches of snow yesterday.
You did. Wow. We
Yeah,
totally missed
which
that
is-
storm.
And the wind has just been blowing it around. It's been quite something. So
Wow.
that's kind of that. And I'm working on this great project for People's Music Network, which is in 2 weekends from this weekend. It's going to be a virtual, gathering convergence, but we're doing some workshops and I'm mixing a virtual choir of 20 people. And I'll tell you, it is
Oh my God.
challenging. So
Well,
that's,
maybe-
I really, yeah. I
on a
can't wait.
Monday, maybe on one of my Monday shows, we'll do something. The Monday ones are about thriving online. How do you kind of make the most of online existence? And maybe we should do a session on lessons learned, trying to communicate with music online.
Absolutely. And actually, Barbara we'd contacted about a month or two ago because she was so isolated. And these guys are like full-time musicians. She and her daughter. So they'll come on next time. They have a satellite for internet and it's cloudy. They, that's why they have no internet today. But
Oh.
Definitely, since we've been connecting and I've been doing this project, lots of folks who haven't really been singing with each other are now sending their parts in, and it's just making everybody so happy, and it's what we can do right now, I guess, one of the things. So
Have any of you seen this steadily expanding TikTok sea shanty?
no,
Oh my
no.
God.
Can you put a link up?
I might,
for that?
maybe I'll play part of it
Oh, that
before
would be
we
so
close out
great.
tonight.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah.
wild. The
So
whole idea of sea shanties being hot
yeah.
makes my heart sing.
And I've
So-
passed
Yeah,
on
Colbert
Dar's
doesn't help fit
idea.
on that.
I've passed on Dar's idea. I've forwarded it to lots of folks that, even some young singers that I know, 12-year-olds that they're all home. They're working. Everything's online.
Right.
So
Thank
I'm
you.
hoping you're going to get some good takers and it'll be good.
Dar will be
I'm so glad.
describing that in a few minutes. I can't wait. And but Karen, I'd love to if you could slip in something musical here. You're always a treat. to
I
hear.
wasn't planning on it, but I do have this little thing. I don't remember if I did. So just a cappella because I really wasn't prepared. Which is from the book Owl Moon, and it seems appropriate too. It goes. Let me see. Oh, you gotta be quiet under shining owl moon. Oh, you gotta be quiet under shining owl moon. Oh, you gotta be quiet under shining owl moon. You gotta make your own heat under shining owl moon. You gotta make your own heat under shining owl moon. Gotta make your own heat, and you gotta be quiet under shining owl moon. And you gotta have hope under shining owl moon. Yes, you gotta have hope under shining owl moon. You gotta have hope, gotta make your own heat, and you gotta be quiet under shining owl moon. Oh, you gotta be brave under shining owl moon. Oh, you gotta be brave under shining owl moon. You gotta be brave and you gotta have hope. Gotta make your own heat and you gotta be quiet under shining owl moon.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
I have to.
That's wonderful with harmonies. That's such a wonderful one to do with a whole bunch of people. Sometime
Wow.
we
Could do one of those TikTok things using that piece.
Okay,
Maybe that
cool.
would work.
Good.
And you make me think of the Owl's Lullaby that Donna Nestler had sung on here.
Right, which I loved. I'd never heard it till last
it's
week.
a
so
cowboy.
beautiful.
It's a Western. It's Hawaiian
beautiful.
cowboy song.
Yeah.
Amazing. So Dar, let's maybe we'll talk a little bit about this project. You called me the other day and started talking about Steps 2021. I'm going to show the website here in a second. Hold on one second. And first of all, how are you doing? You had some respiratory or other run in.
I've downgraded my fears down to just a regular old sinus infection. I just haven't been sick in a while, so I'm just hoping that I'm fine. But thanks for letting me go now because I got to go get tested.
Right.
And thanks for dealing with my puffiness. But that's
so
good.
Tell us.
I think that's anyway. Steps 2021. You want to know about that instead of my sinus infection?
Well, I brought it up.
Yes.
So, no, it's good to know you're doing okay.
Thank you. First of all, Karen, that was beautiful, and I was harmonizing. So you're right. I can only imagine. Steps 2021 is basically saying, go to the steps where you are, or the ramps, or the metaphoric steps where you go step by step. But stand on the steps of the places that you love, and the places where we go to work collaboratively and constructively, and seek peace and justice and find solutions as we go. That's the mission. And then post it on inauguration morning, and tag us and let us join you. Oh, that's a
Right.
picture of me doing a dorky video. But
No, I'm switching to the, here we go.
yeah,
Plan your
thank
event
you.
for Inauguration Day, and it's so post things between 9:30 and 11:30. Is that right? Eastern time?
Yeah. So basically, in the lead up, just before the coverage of the inaugural march that's going to happen, and it started, a while ago. I when you would hear about people coming to towns, with white nationalist marches and things like that, and people would sort of freeze and say, "What are we going to do? We're expecting violence." I wrote this whole piece that said, "Go to the steps." And the places around steps in public spaces, and sing cross congregationally. Call people from different groups in your area. You'd be amazed how many people can come together, and you'd be amazed how many people know This Little Light of Mine and Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And sing to show. Don't counter demonstrate, because they're the counter demonstrator. You demonstrate what is true and strong in our democracy, which is how we collaborate and work together and harmonize. So when I saw the steps on January 6th being stormed and sort of being used for an insurrection where people had no faith in collaboration and constructive things, I thought, well, we should all go to our steps and sing to show what's still strong. And everyone said, the hell, we're going to sing in choirs on steps. So we kept on scaling it down, like, well, maybe you can make music with a lot of people on steps. And we're like, no, Dar. So actually it became more intimate and kind of more beautiful, which is go to your steps, and it can be the steps of your house. If the steps of your house are the places where people, you're working with your kids, and you're figuring out how to get online and be part of digital education, well, that's the step where people are working together. So, and it's amazing because actually ramps are a big part of this, because the ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act, is such a big accomplishment in our country for inclusion. So go to your steps, go
Right.
to your ramps. So, but that's it. Post something, because otherwise we're just waiting for something bad to happen. Like that will be the story on Wednesday. We're waiting for something bad to happen, and something good is happening, the peaceful transfer of power. And we can affirm that by going to our steps. And we've got some beautiful commitments from people all over the place, from Alaska and Nebraska and Florida. And so, it's a very diverse country. And so we're hoping to see that, there's so many different ways that we can use our standing buildings and the commons to build the future. So that's one of the hashtags, is the future we build together.
Very cool. So what song do you have in mind? I don't know if you've already picked the one. We don't want to spill the beans on whatever you want to sing for this, but what do you have on your mind this morning musically?
Well, I've been working. I just have been loving your show, but between I've been trying to mute so I can listen, so I can make sure I still know this song. This is a song that's actually. Can you hear my guitar? Great, thanks, Thanks, Julio. So when we adopted my daughter from Ethiopia, and a lot of people write beautiful lullabies for their new babies. And I was like, I really just want her to know that there's a whole bunch of people working for peace and justice in this country, but it's not perfect, But I went to college with a lot of people who went to work for a lot of different kind of nonprofits, and all they're saying is, find me. Here's my number. Here's my, here's my website. Find me. I will help you. I will make sure that you don't get, crushed by anything in the system, and I'll help you find a voice. And I just wanted her to know that. Speaking of voices, so here we go. This is called Write This Number Down, which you'll figure out from the first line. Here we go. Write this number down. You can call it any time. We have been waiting for the day that you would finally drop a line. Oh, 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 oh. I praise the ones who persevere in seeking justice through the law. I caution there were those who felt abandoned and betrayed by what they saw. Some stood in halls of silence with icy hints of violence when they did seek justice through the law. I'm witness to the commons and the institutions of the people's rule. The parents bring their kids to local parks and then their kids run off to school. You might see the same old story, greed and profits allegory. I see kids who go to school. Oh, 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 oh. A vote for one, a vote for all, a right to silence, one free call. You'll need a warrant for that. No, she won't sit in the back. And yes, we're still abolishing all slavery. Banishing all slavery. Oh, 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 oh. So write this number down to know you won't slip through the cracks. Look over your shoulder, there's millions of us there to get your backs. You can play your crucial part, carry justice in your heart. We'll be there to get your backs. Welcome to this land, and yes, we still have all those marble steps to climb. But write this number down, because it's growing all the time.
I like that last line.
I know. I was practicing this morning. I was like, oh, Dar, wow, look at that, steps. So yeah, I think there's a lot of symbolic there's a lot of goodness out there. And, you know, when Patrick was talking about this revolution and how you're bringing it to us with all this sort of these global voices that reside in this country and that we celebrate in our country, you know, in one way we're opening ourselves up to this wonderful sort of global, all these different ideas and cultures that we can share, and that being such a good thing, sort of meeting in the difference. But there's also sort of an everyday simple, put a stamp on an envelope, put it in a mailbox, go to the library, take out a library book. There's a lot of sort of simple goodness and willingness to reinforce that. And that's sort of, I think, what Steps 2021, hopefully it's reinforcing both. But, you know, we live with a lot of goodness around us and a lot of willingness to participate in the comments that way.
And there is this issue now with social media, particularly in the way the TV news works. It's so much of it's amplifying the edges of the arguments and even the edges of experience, so that we miss those opportunities to take steps toward the person who you might recoil from. Reggie Harris, one of the most meaningful sessions for me on this show was Reggie Harris a couple of months ago, one of our good friends, musical friends, a Black American. And he had been at this rally, a BLM rally in upstate New York on the Village Green. And there was a simultaneous MAGA rally, and it got pretty heated. And he took steps. He walked over. It was a guy. He said it started out a little hot, and Reggie at one point pulled back from his own temperature, his own heat. He paused and he said, "My name is Reggie," and the other guy said, "My name's Joe." And wow, you know, they didn't solve world peace. They certainly didn't end the tensions over these issues but it showed the power of internally taking steps to see if there's a chance to find overlap. And I think that was really, really profound.
and there are lots of great stories like that. And also, but I love what you just said about that the news really sort of benefiting from amplifying the edges. And the edges are really interesting and thought-provoking. But when I heard a station saying, we just don't know what to expect, if there's going to be violence or aggression on Wednesday, tell Alexa to tune into our radio station. I thought, did you just like sell a product with violence? I mean, it just didn't ring correctly,
Right.
in terms of
So
what we see.
Having been in the media for all these years, I got pretty tired of that pattern of amplifying things in ways that artificially they create brittleness. It creates a brittle
artificial.
landscape.
I mean,
Right.
I've
So-
been, sorry, Julio.
And Julio, yes.
Yeah, so three things super quick, and then I've got to jump off. One of them is the voices are amplified at the edges of the dumbbell, but the heavy lifting gets done in the middle. And one of the things that I like has made me very happy this week is I know now a bunch of people who are going back into government, and they're all superstars, and every single one of them believes deeply that they have one mouth and two ears. And the goal here is to listen before you talk, to hear more voices and stuff like that. And I can't be more pleased and more excited about the future, because I know there's going to be butts in seats that know the gig and care. And so, but they are very much not driven by the edges of the conversation. And I don't think that the edges of the conversation are interesting anymore on that basis. But the parting thought is really for Dar. The way that you described the steps, I suddenly had this image. There's like two ways that we could paint the future. One of them is we could paint it like Bruegel, with like lots of stuff happening all over the place, but it's all ugly and it's all brown and it's all dark. Or we could paint it like James Ensor, in which there's all kinds of craziness going on, but it's bright and it's vibrant and it's fun. And that's sort of what you're calling forward. And in that context, just brava and congratulations, and go get them. Hope it succeeds wildly.
Thank you very much. Please spread the word and participate, Julio. Nice to see you again.
Bye-bye.
We will be spreading the word for sure. That was, I love that the dumbbell, the edges get the attention, but the heavy lifting is in the middle. And the some of the nominations, not nominations now, the appointments that Biden has made. The first deputy secretary, deputy director, at the Science and Technology Policy Office. Her job is science. She's the deputy director for Science and Society. So it's about bridging science and society, and to have that as a priority in this administration reflects my sense of hope that we're heading in a really powerful direction. I'd love to get maybe one more musical thought from Steve and Peter. But Dara, I know you got to go to get tested. If you had one last quick song or message, what would it be?
I don't have a message, but I'll say that the things that I learned from writing my book. One is that when change comes, you manage change. That's what someone in Moab, Utah said. Manage change. So people want to freeze change. People want to, make it a Bruegel painting where we're just rolling around in chaos. But you manage change. You know it's going to come, but you have the communication. The other thing I learned is to think in bridges. So anything that you're doing, think about how it can bridge to other people that you can bring in, because that will help you with further projects in the commons. And the last thing that I learned was that the opposite of division is not unity, it's collaboration. So if we think in unity, that can get actually kind of fascist, or we can sort of threaten each other with that, like you're not being in unity. But if you say collaboration, that's harder to wiggle out of. Collaboration is a commitment to communicating and having the two ears. So I'm committing to that myself.
That reminds me so much of the work here at Columbia of Peter Coleman, who, among other things, runs the Difficult Conversations Laboratory. And his center, it's got a horrible name. But it's the Center for Cooperation, Complexity, and Conflict. So it's a cooperation, as you say, collaboration, cooperation. You don't have to resolve conflict to cooperate. You manage it.
And a lot of times you work with people that you don't like very much, but you really respect them. And you're like, I can't run a soundboard, so go for it. So, it's been a wonderful, I've been really educated in so much good stuff by writing a book about what I saw on touring, and reminding myself that, I'll see somebody with a hijab and with a MAGA hat next to each other online at a rest stop in Indiana at 1:00 in the morning. And, they just all want to get on, move forward.
They just want their coffee.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much for being here today, and get better.
It's so nice to see you all. Thanks. I'm sure I'll be fine.
No, I know, but it's wonderful. And I think the idea, steps21.org, is a great idea. And it can perpetuate. It doesn't have to be a one-day thing, but the day is the inauguration day that morning.
We will
Take
see
some
you
steps
then.
and share them online. Steps21 is the hashtag, and there's other hashtags. You can find out more at steps21.org. Steps 2021. Oh, sorry.
You're
Steps
so cool.
2021.
No, thank you so much. That's great. Yeah, you can go to. It's a really cool site. My friends
2021.org.
did it, and it's a wonderful site. So go find us, and we will find you. Thanks.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Thank you, Dar. And if anyone has a last musical or other thought, this is your time. Peter, what's going on for you? Hope you're muted, or did I mute you? Peter, you're muted. You are muted. Steve, while he's unmuting.
I got it.
Oh, there you go.
I'm slow this morning, on this Sunday morning.
Oh, it's hard not to be slow.
I do have something that I'd love to share. And it starts out sort of feeling a little bit more pessimistic, because the concept came up right before 9/11. This idea of there being a crack in the windshield, to get a little crack in the windshield, and then there it is, and it's going to eventually expand, and it's going to become the whole windshield. But it was a very pessimistic song. I wrote it right before 9/11, and then 9/11 happened, and I never had anything so prophetic happen in my life. I can't take credit for that, but it was a very pessimistic song, and then I kind of rewrote it a little while ago to be a little bit more of a reflection of where we should go if we know the crack in the windshield is there. By the way, this is so lovely, and it's so nice that you host this. I just want to say that it's like playing music among friends, and I didn't say a formal hello to Steve too. It's so good to see you. I love hearing Somos El Barco. And Karen, I can't believe that you got that much snow in Heath. I'm north of you, and we got like 2 inches. So
it's like a microburst or something.
Yeah, well, Karen is up on the mountain. She's way, there's like that big mountain before you cross over. I'm in the valley. I'm right on the river. We're right near where Steve used to live. Okay, so here it is. I can get in tune here. If this is the last song that we sing together, may it lift our hearts, may our voices be heard. Let us feel every word. May our voices be heard. Let us feel every word. This is the last drink we have together. Make it a slow one. May we pause and toast to this moment in time. May we pause and toast to this moment in time. Something is coming, and it's coming slow, the way the crack in the windshield grows. Oh, how it creeps so. Something is coming, and it's coming slow, the way the crack in the windshield grows. How deep the crack goes. This is the last drink we have together, make it a slow one. This is the last dance we have together. Let's trust as we move through the space. As we glide along, our hearts will beat as one. As we glide along, our hearts will beat as one. This may be the wake-up call, the canary in the coal mine. May this show us that normal isn't fine. May this be the warning that normal isn't fine. Something is coming, and it's coming slow, the way the crack in the windshield grows. Oh, how it creeps so. Something is coming and it's coming slow, the way the crack in the windshield grows, how deep the crack goes. Nomadic for a million, till the land for 12,000 years. Build metal machines for 100 or two. Now we stare at screens for just a few. So maybe the song that we sing forever may mean something. May our voices soar high, gazing eye to eye. May our voices soar high, gazing eye to eye. No need to wonder why. Just look into each other's eyes. Something is coming and it's coming slow, the way the crack in the windshield grows. Oh, how it creeps so. Something is coming and it's coming slow, the way the crack in the windshield goes. How deep the crack goes.
Mhm.
Beautiful, Peter.
Thank you.
That was great. I think maybe we'll stop with that one. I hope you guys are okay. Steve, Steve, did you have a short song to close us out, by the way? The days.
Well, I could, but we don't need to push it longer than you'd like.
I think we'll call it a morning. There's lots to do getting ready for this week. And this was a great gathering. I mean, boy, we went from Indian ragas about the monsoon to Cherokee chants to poetry. That piece by Michael Cody was great, Steve. And Karen, we'll get your friends back on here. Try that again. Peter, great to have you on again. Let's get your sister back too when we can. And on with the day and on with the week and on with this next decade, which is already in fast forward and slow motion at the same time because of the persistent virus. Thanks to all you for being here on screen today.
Thanks, Andy.
And to Julio Friedman and everybody else. And thanks to everyone who tuned in. This show gets archived right away, so you can spread the joy by sharing the links. This is all a production of the Earth Institute. Thankfully, they give me the flexibility to do things like this if I feel it makes sense in the context of building a better planet and better society. And so far, so good. Glad to be here doing this. And for folks out there, you can get in touch with me many different ways. Just Google for Revkin and Sustain What, and you'll find me. So again, best wishes to you all going forward. Stay safe, connect from a distance or in person when you're in your bubble. And let's get creative and constructive on Inauguration Day on Wednesday, as Dar Williams said. Take care, everybody.
Take care.
Thanks,
Bye,
Andy.
everyone. Bye, Steve. Bye, Karen.
Bye, guys.